Have you ever had that specific moment, usually late at night, where you're lying in bed, the phone is in your hand, and you suddenly realize you've been scrolling for an hour, but you can't remember a single thing you saw?
Oh, absolutely. It's the classic time warp. You tell yourself, I'll just check one notification, and then suddenly it's midnight, your eyes are tired, and you have this strange, empty feeling in your chest, like, where did my evening go?
Exactly. It's almost scary, isn't it? It's not just about wasting time, it's that feeling that life is slipping through our fingers while we're looking at a screen.
That is a heavy thought to start with, but it's the truth. We are all guilty of it. We get so caught up in the noise that we forget the most basic fact of our existence. Life is short.
It is. And I know that sounds like a cliché greeting card phrase, life is short. But today, I want us to really unpack that. Not to make anyone feel anxious or sad, but to see if we can use that fact to wake ourselves up.
I like that. Using the limit of time as a motivation, not a fear. Because if we acknowledge that our time is limited, we naturally want to live it to the fullest. But that phrase, live to the fullest, it's a bit tricky, isn't it?
It is. When people hear live life to the fullest, what do they usually imagine?
Usually, an Instagram travel vlog. Someone jumping out of an airplane in Dubai, or backpacking through the Amazon, or quitting their job to open a bakery in Paris. It feels huge. It feels expensive.
Right? It feels like something you do after you win the lottery. But most of us have normal days. We have laundry, spreadsheets, traffic jams, and grocery shopping. So does that mean we can't live fully?
That is the core question for today. I think we need to redefine what a full life looks like. It's not about doing more crazy things. It's about being more awake for the simple things.
Being awake. I love that, because the opposite of being awake isn't being asleep, it's being on autopilot.
Autopilot, that is the perfect word for it. It's like a plane flying itself. You wake up, you brush your teeth, you commute, you work, you come home, you watch TV, you sleep. Your body is moving, but your mind is somewhere else entirely.
I had a day like that last week. I remember getting to work and realizing I didn't remember the drive at all. I didn't see the sky, I didn't feel the steering wheel, I was just processing. And if we do that every day, suddenly 10 years have passed.
And that's when the shock hits you. You know, like when you look at an old photo album.
I was at my parents' house recently and found a picture of myself from 2005.
Oh, those old printed photos hit differently.
They really do. I looked at that version of me. Younger face, terrible haircut, and I could remember that day vividly. I could smell the air, taste the food we were eating. It felt like yesterday. But then, my brain did the math. That was nearly 20 years ago.
It's physically painful sometimes, isn't it? Your heart feels like it was just a moment ago, but the calendar says it's a lifetime.
It is a wake-up call. It's life whispering, hey, I'm moving. I'm not waiting for you to be ready. And that ache, that nostalgia, it's actually a gift. It tells us that we care about our time.
So if we accept that time flies and we don't want to live on autopilot, how do we actually change? Because we can't just stop working or abandon our responsibilities.
No, we can't. But we can change how we do those things. We can start with what I call micro moments.
Give me an example of a micro moment.
Okay, take something mundane. Drinking tea or coffee. Usually I drink my coffee while checking emails, worrying about a deadline, and looking for my keys. I drink it, but I don't experience it.
You're multitasking the joy out of it?
Exactly. But living fully would mean, for just 3 minutes, I put the phone down. I hold the cup. I feel the warmth on my palms. I smell the roast. I take a sip and actually taste it. I am just there.
It sounds so simple, almost too simple. But I've tried this with walking. Instead of listening to a podcast or texting while I walk, I just look up. I see the trees, the way the light hits the pavement, and suddenly, a boring walk feels like a real experience.
That's the secret. You are arriving in your own life. You are stepping out of the simulation in your head and back into reality. And the beautiful thing is, you don't need money for that. You just need attention.
Attention is the currency of life, isn't it? Wherever you put your attention, that's what grows. And this applies to people too, maybe even more so.
Oh, definitely. The people part is the heaviest. Because just like we think we have endless time, we often act like our loved ones will be here forever. We take them for granted.
Taking for granted. That's a dangerous state of mind. It's assuming someone will always be there, so you don't need to make an effort today.
I learned this the hard way. I had a friend, we had a stupid argument. Just a clash of egos. I was waiting for him to apologize. He was waiting for me. I thought, Oh, we have plenty of time to fix this later.
The trap of later.
Exactly. Months went by, and then I found out he was moving to a different continent. Suddenly, later wasn't an option anymore. I realized I was about to lose a friend because I was too proud to send a simple text.
That is a powerful realization. I think many of our listeners are picturing someone right now, a parent they haven't called, a friend they drifted away from.
If you are picturing someone, listen to that feeling. Life is too short for long silences. You don't need a poetic speech. You just need to say, "Hey, I was thinking about you," or "I miss you."
It takes a bit of courage, though, doesn't it? To drop the ego and reach out.
It does. We call that tiny courage. It's not the courage to fight a dragon. It's the courage to be vulnerable, to say, "I care about you," or to say, "I'm sorry."
Tiny courage. I like that concept. It applies to how we treat ourselves, too. I think one of the biggest things that stops us from living fully is that voice in our heads.
The inner critic.
Yes, that guy. The one who says, "You're not good enough. You're behind in life. Why did you say that stupid thing?" It's like having a bully as a roommate.
And imagine if you had a real roommate who followed you around all day saying, "You're wasting your life. You're terrible at English. You look tired." You would kick them out immediately.
You would call the police, but we let this voice live in our minds rent-free.
If life is short, do we really want to spend it being our own enemy? Living fully means deciding to be on your own team.
So how do we switch teams? How do we silence that critic?
You don't have to silence him completely. That's hard. But you can argue back. When the voice says, "You wasted today," you can say, "No, I rested today, and I will try again tomorrow."
It's about softness. We think we need to be hard on ourselves to improve, but actually, kindness makes us grow faster.
It does. Think about learning English, since that's what brings us all here. If you tell yourself, "My accent is bad, I make too many mistakes," you will want to quit. You'll hide.
But if you use that tiny courage and say, "I'm still learning and that's okay," you're more likely to speak up.
Exactly. And speaking up even when you're scared is a huge part of living fully. It's saying, "I am here and I have something to say."
I want to circle back to something we mentioned earlier, the idea of making it count. Because we've talked about time, people, and self-talk, it all comes down to intention.
Making it count. It means ensuring that your time has value. And value doesn't mean productivity. Value can mean rest. Value can mean laughter. Value can mean crying because you need to release something.
So, if a listener is feeling overwhelmed right now, maybe they feel like they've already wasted too much time, what would you tell them?
I would say, the past is a closed door. You can't go back there, but the present is wide open. You can start living fully in the next 5 minutes.
That's a relief. It's never too late to start paying attention.
Never. You can give a gift to your future self right now.
I love the idea of the future self.
Think of your future self as a dear friend you are taking care of. When you do 5 minutes of English study today, you are being kind to the you of next year. When you go for a walk instead of scrolling, you are taking care of the you of this evening.
It makes the choices feel less like chores and more like acts of love.
Precisely.
You know, we've covered a lot of ground today. We used some specific phrases and idioms that might be new for some listeners. Since we want to make this episode count for their English learning too, shall we do a quick review?
Let's do it. A little word tour to help these ideas stick.
The first one we used was time flies.
Right. Time flies. It's simple. It means time passes very quickly, often faster than we expect. Like when you see a child grow up and think, "Wow, time flies."
Then we talked about being on autopilot.
On autopilot. This means doing things automatically, without thinking or feeling, like a robot. We want to switch off the autopilot and take control of the plane.
Then there was take for granted.
To take someone or something for granted. It means you don't appreciate something because you assume it will always be there. Don't take your health or your friends for granted.
And my favorite, savor the moment.
To savor. It's a delicious word. It means to enjoy something slowly and completely. You savor a chocolate, but you can also savor a sunset or a quiet morning.
And finally, the inner critic.
The inner critic, that negative voice inside your head that judges you. Remember, treat that critic like a guest who talks too much. You don't have to listen to everything they say.
Those are great tools for our listeners to keep in their pockets.
Absolutely. Words shape how we see the world.
Before we close, I want to try something a little different, a very short moment of practice.
I think that's a great idea. Let's move from thinking to feeling.
If you are listening to this, unless you are driving, please stay alert if you're driving. But if you can, just soften your shoulders, unclench your jaw.
Take a deep breath in and let it out.
Ask yourself one question. What is one small thing I can savor today?
It doesn't have to be big. Maybe it's the feeling of your socks on your feet. Maybe it's the sound of the wind outside. Maybe it's the fact that you understand this conversation in English right now.
Hold that small thing in your mind. That is you living fully.
It's that simple. Life is just a collection of these small moments. Don't let them all slip away.
And remember, you don't have to change your whole life overnight. You just have to wake up to the moment you are in.
Life is short, yes, but it is also wide. It is wide enough for you to start again right now.
Thank you for spending this time with us. By being here, you've already made this 15 minutes count.
We are really proud of you for showing up. Keep noticing the small things.
Until next time, take care of your future self.
And enjoy the journey. Bye for now.
Bye.